Josh, this is so cool meeting you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on Away. I have to admit, I'm not through it yet because
No problem.
because I'm trying to slow watch it. I usually try and binge everything and just
Yeah,
rush to get to the
I'm
end.
with you. I like to do that as well.
Yeah, so I'm really go on.
You get to kind of digest things a little bit more. I think it's it's probably the worst thing to say for doing a press for Netflix, but I do like to sometimes I binge stuff and I can't stop. But I also appreciate the other side of that, of just sort of, taking it, watching it. And I think you have the ability to do both. But, some people, when you get into something that you like, I remember just like with Russian Doll, like I just couldn't stop. I was just like, oh my God, I need more. There's other shows too. But it's just like when you get that, it can really, it sort of just drives you. I don't know if you have anything like that, but I appreciate you taking the time. And
completely.
nice to talk to you.
Well, see, my thing is that when I do binge like that, and I had to stop myself with the way as well, because all I'm doing is trying to get to the end and not appreciating the now. So I'm just appreciating the now. But I want to know, what were your reactions when you first read the script? Did you feel you had to get straight to the end, or were you just taking it all in?
No, I read the script. I just read it through. I thought it had such interesting potential, just setting like these pilot scripts are always, to me, just setting a template of a foundation of where you're going to build off of. And so for me, it felt like this had really rich potential, and talk with the creators of the show and with Ed Zwick, who directed the first episode and was one of the producers. And Ed spoke had a lot of really great things to say, I think, about, every marriage is a mission to Mars, I think he said to me. And that really stuck with me as an idea of like, right, everybody's going through their own journeys, but we're also trying to stay connected. And how does that happen? And potentially in a show like this, where could that go when they eventually re-enter into each other's orbit potentially? How does that, I mean that literally, not, like if they're actually in person together, like how do you deal with that? And when so much has happened in between, individually and also amongst each other. So I don't know. It felt like it had a really rich, potential. So.
Well, I love that. You see this, and on the surface, it literally just looks like it's a story about space. It's not. There are so many levels. It's so character driven, and there's so many themes going through them. And one of them I loved when Emma's trying to make that tough decision of following her dream or being there for her daughter, and Matt says, "This is who you are, and someday she's going to be who she is." And then it just reminded me of parenting and how tough it is. Those decisions of, am I going to make the sacrifice for the child? Or in this case, is the child going to make a small sacrifice for me? How do you deal with those tough decisions? Because no one tells you that about parenting.
No, you don't. And I think that was, but I also think that the important thing there is also like, she's going to be who she's going to be, which is meaning she's also her own person. That everybody, you can't, you've got to let go somewhat, and obviously it's harder for Emma right now as she's physically away and Matt is there and person dealing with it and struggling. But I don't, to answer your question, I mean, I feel like that was part of the excitement of playing it, was like, I wanted more flaws, like I wanted him to screw up more as a parent. I think it's like, it's more, to me, it just strikes me as just more human and real. And, that seeing someone try their best, and fumble through a conversation that's awkward about her and boyfriend or whatever, but like, screw it up, but that it's coming from the right place. It's coming from a place of love and a place of caring. And I don't know. I thought that was, some of those moments were really fun to play with Talitha. I thought we had, trying to find our own sort of unique rhythm as a father and a daughter, both struggling with an extraordinary, circumstance and how they're navigating it and dealing with it.
I love the opening scene. You're all at a football match and she's there about to take a shot at goal. She doesn't take a shot at goal, and Emma turns around and said to her, "You need to take the shot. You always need to take the shot." But that's not always easy. And especially in this career, Josh, where it is so uncertain and there's self-doubt plays a big part in it. How do you always get to take that shot, convince yourself to take that shot?
What are you talking, self-doubt? No. You think actors have self-doubt?
Never.
No. What are you talking about? I don't even know how to answer that question. I've never experienced. What is self-doubt? Could you explain to me? I've never experienced it. No, I think you're right. I mean, listen, I mean, we have this family of like all very type A personalities. I mean, that was another thing that Ed said, that this is a sort of family where everyone is an alpha. It's not really, and they're all sort of dealing with like really extreme stuff, but we're all in that situation, and we're all attacking it as alphas, and that's unique. And that resonated with me as well, because you can have that approach, and then reality sets in. Life sets in. So I think, yeah, all great plans go by the wayside when you're sort of dealing with the reality of how to get through this moment, this challenging moment.
But you had such a great break in this industry, and I have been dying to talk to you since 1989.
Oh my God.
Since I was a child, and we were taken by our English teacher to watch Dead Poets Society.
Where do you live? Where in Ireland?
I'm living in Ireland, but I'm in Dublin, but I grew up in Australia.
Okay, I thought it was Australian accent, but you live in Dublin now?
I live in Dublin now, yeah, but my English teacher took the class to see Dead Poets Society. And it was the film that, I know this sounds a bit extreme, but it really did change my life, and it had such a massive impact on my life and my outlook on the world. And I've always wanted to chat to you guys to go, what was it like actually getting to live that and be a part of such an amazing film?
Yeah, it's interesting, because it came up recently. I don't know if it was the 30th anniversary or one of the anniversaries. And so it did a little bit of press for it and talked to a few people. It was great to work with someone the caliber of Peter Weir so early in your career. Was just something I'll never forget. I mean, I've taken so many things from him in terms of, just the way he treats people. The lack of ego in terms of, like, if people had ideas. I remember the sort of attention to detail, his love of music, and using that in behind the scenes while we were sort of performing, and what that could do. I don't know. I was really taken by him. He was our Keating, all of the actors, in a way, and that was a really special experience. But it also taught me that doesn't happen all the time. You don't get to work with people like that all the time. So when you start something like that off early, you don't always realize, like, oh, they're not all going to be like this. Some are going to be a little bit of a slog. So, but it was wonderful. And Peter's a wonderful filmmaker, and I feel blessed to have been able to work with him.
That was an amazing film, and it leaves, like, it's a lovely legacy to leave behind. And I think that's bringing it back to a way I said at the beginning, there's so many themes going through this, and I love the messages that go through it as well. And the great thing about working on different projects is that you, as an actor, get to take something with you from that project. What do you take from this project? What did you learn about yourself working on?
So you mean, like, what do I steal from the set that I take home?
You can do that as well. Did you steal anything?
I can't really talk about that because I could get in trouble, but there's always something I take from each. No. What do I take from it? So the question is, what did I take from away? Like, what is the
what message did you take with you?
That relationships are hard, and made even harder by distance, and relationships with your spouse, relationships with your children. I think I took the sense that, we're all evolving and changing, and life is throwing so many different things at us constantly. And in this show, it kind of blows that up in a way where it's really extreme. We're actually, like, away from each other, no pun intended. And Matt is away from his physical body that he's known and felt, so connected to. And Alexis's character is away from the girl that she was, and sort of becoming like this young woman. So everybody's sort of changing, and then yet there's all this distance. And so I think I just took that at the end of the day, we all really just want to connect with each other. We want to feel like, especially with your family, that, you just have that ally and that bond and that connection, that you're known, that you feel known, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's sort of touching into that sort of humanity of, like, to really feel really truly known. Like, that feels important.
Well, do you know what? That's a great way to wrap this conversation. I could talk to you forever. Thank you so much for taking the time.
You are so sweet. It was great to talk to you.
Oh my God.
Oh God, you cut her off. Bye.
Oh, such a joy. Oh, such a joy. You really have made a dream come true. So thank you. Bye. Thank you.